everyone, my name is Steph, this is the Novelty Corner and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a books beside my bed video for you where I wrap up the last 7 days worth of reading. I come to you again from the hotel room in Docklands, because of course I do. It is the Australian Ice Hockey Finals weekend, so I am staying down here. I've already been to 2 games, I have 3 more to go, and I am vlogging it. So this video is being filmed in the middle of a vlog. Yay. But this is the wrap up for the week. So if you can hear any weird noises, I literally cannot control the noise level in this environment. We're just going to do our best. I am also not as meticulously organized with my notes because as I was preparing for this week, not only was I reading everything for Ping Pong-a-thon, which I only have 2 more prompts left after completing, and therefore will have completed all 4 rounds of it, and then I'm done. I'm so done. But because this was my last week before work and I took long service leave from the Friday, I was trying to get work stuff organized because I have the entire of next week off as well. So book notes are sketchy at best, but that's okay because I read them and I'm sure I'll remember something as I start talking about them. So the first book that I read this week was Baden by Sawyer Bennett, and this is a hockey romance. It is the first book in the Pittsburgh Titans series, I think, from memory. Pittsburgh Titans. Yes, Pittsburgh Titans. See, I remembered something. This is off to a great start. I figured that this is actually a spin-off of the Arizona Vengeance series, which I haven't read yet, so I might go back and read this because I actually thoroughly enjoyed Baden, and I have Gage as a physical copy. I think I got it for like $6 last year. Anyway, Baden is a hockey player for the NHL. He was injured when he stepped in to save a woman who was being attacked, potentially SA, etc., and that was Sophie. And he didn't know her at all. He just stepped in because he saw her under threat. And as a result, it basically took him out of his playing career. He was a goalie, and even though he has healed, no one's quite sure whether he'd ever get back to playing strength. And he's offered the opportunity to be a goalie coach for the Pittsburgh Titans, who have undergone a massive loss in that their entire team that was flying back from a game was in a plane crash, and basically the entire team, with the exception of a handful of players, were killed. And so the Titans are trying to rebuild their team, and that includes coaches, staff, everyone, because so many people were on the plane. Pittsburgh happens to be where Sophie lives. So when Baden moves to Pittsburgh, he decides to reconnect with Sophie and check in on how they're going. And they strike up this really lovely friendship born of the fact that they both survived this horrific attack. And then they fall for one another. And it's lovely. It's a book about healing, about reconnecting with people, trusting yourself, finding life after you basically lose something that you absolutely love. And I thoroughly enjoyed the whole thing. It was great. Oh, I reread Magic Gifts by Ilona Andrews, which is the it's a novella in the Kate Daniels series, and I re-listened to the graphic audio. I did this again. I think I read it last month anyway. I just wanted something short to listen to while I was doing housework. And it's about Kate and Karen getting caught up in a magical threat when a child's life is threatened and they have to go and face a magical monster zombie thing that lives in the forest and, you know, try and save a child. It was fun. Hook 'em Hard by Cathryn Fox is the 6th and final book in the Bang Brothers series, which I have been reading and reviewing. This one is Mabey and Tanner's book. So Tanner is a member of the Bang family. Is he the youngest brother? I can't remember. He's one of them. Anyway, he falls for Mabey, who is a physiotherapist and is also a teammate's daughter. This sort of turns into a fake dating sort of situation. There's also an ex in Mabey's life who is stalking her. Honestly, this one was probably my least favorite of the series, but I can't quite put my finger on why. I don't know, I think the first couple were really fantastic, and then slowly it just went downhill. I don't really have much more to say on it than that. I mean, it was a hockey romance and it was fine. There was nothing bad about it. It was just kind of in that aggressively average category, really. I also read Dog Star, which is a historical middle fiction story. So this was one of the books that I bought last year when I went on my birthday book buying spree at Readings Kids. And it is set during the space race between Russia and America. And we are following Nina, who is the daughter of one of the scientists who has been tasked with sending a spacecraft with animals into space. And so this is the story of Laika, the space dog, and it's based off some reality in that I was reading the author's notes. The Russian scientists tried to take really good care of their animals, and the lead scientist, even the day before, just before the launch, actually took the dog home and gave it a day with his children and family and made sure that it felt, you know, loved and appreciated, because obviously they could not return the dog to Earth after they sent it into space. So it was a really interesting look at a historical children's story, especially one set in Russia. And yeah, I hadn't quite read anything like it, so it was really a really interesting reading experience. And as I've said before, I love space, I love astronomy, I love the study of space, and anytime I get a chance to read something that's got a historical bent on it in that vein, I will jump on it. Then I read The Witch of Crimson Arrows, I think this is by A.K. Mulford, and actually I should double check that, shouldn't I? It is a prequel novella set in the Five Crowns of Oakrith world, and I don't remember much about it except the main character's name is Remy. She's a witch. She's working in a tavern. Oh, hang on, now I do remember. This is what happens. I read my notes and I go, oh, I remember what happened. And she is a red witch, which I don't know what that means. I'm sure that means something in the series. But her friends who are brown witches are much more accepted. Red witches are not accepted. And they're kind of in hiding and they're trying to protect her. And then her secret is revealed and they have to go on the run. And it's a prequel novella, so it's very short. And yeah, I didn't get as much world building and understanding from this book. I suspect I would possibly need to read the other books in the series. If they're all novellas, then maybe I will. But yeah, I would imagine this is going to be a fantasy romance of some kind. At the moment, it's kind of just fantasy. I also read The Raven's Eye Runaways by Claire Mabey. This was a review copy that was sent to me by Ellen and Unwin. It is a middle grade fantasy story. And this one is all about magic that is tied up with books and words. In this world, people have to have permission to be able to read, or to even look at books, or to even be able to write. And so our main character, Cathryn, is the daughter of a bookbinder. And bookbinding is kind of a magic skill. And so when her mother is taken by a family to sort out a magical mishap, but then doesn't return, Cathryn and her friend Buckler and Lee, who is a new person that they meet, she's a scholar who has escaped from a school where she's basically kept drugged in order to write. But she's not allowed to read the words, she's not allowed to understand them, she just writes them down. But she escapes because someone helps her to get out with a magic book, and the three of them have to team up to try and find Cathryn's mother and to try and uncover what's going on, and maybe, you know, solve a few of the problems of the world where you control what people can and can't do, particularly in light of reading. There's magic, it's fun. There is it a talking crow? I think it's a talking, no, maybe it's a raven. Anyway, there's a talking bird, a whole lot of magic. And yeah, it was a really interesting story. It has a kind of historical fantasy middle grade feeling to it. I mean, it's fantasy, but it kind of feels historical-ish. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think this one has come out of New Zealand. I think it might be Claire Mabey's debut. So it was a really interesting and enjoyable reading experience. So thank you again to Ellen and Unwin for that one. And I think that's where we leave it, because everything else that I've read is for the vlog that I'm filming. So we've made it through, sort of. Thanks for watching. In the comments, I'd love to know if you've read any of these books or if you're planning on picking any of them up. Otherwise, feel free to share what kind of emoji, a dog or a star emoji down below. Let's go with the simple title of dog star. I hope that wherever you're on the world, you're staying safe and healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, everyone.